Hello, everyone. I am showing my application for my project. Um, so I'm going to start with deploy to the web. It meets the proficient criteria and video shows the use of render in the config bars. So on render, I have my configuration variables, the name of my database, my Google Client ID for OAuth, for my session, my JSON web token, my database connection, my session secret, everything is here. For all authorization, if I try to connect to my database and get to users, for example, it's going to tell me I'm not authorized. If I try to access habits, it tells me I'm not authorized. So what I need to do, I'm going to run my local server to show this. And then I'm going to go into localhost, and then authorization, Google. Then it takes me to my Google account and the habit tracker. Now I have a token, which I can show because it's going to expire in an hour. So by the time this is created, this is gone. So with this token, I can then request, for example, to get my users, which previously gave me an error of unauthorized. I paste the token. These are previous tokens for testing, so they're not going to work, but this is a new one. Then I get the 200. It's okay, and I get all my users here. And if I want to create a user, it will be the same. I get the new token, and then I'm going to show validation. Let's say I don't write any name, which is a field required to create a user. Then I send the request, even though with the authorization, I'm going to get a message saying name is required and must not be empty. So it is authorized, but I didn't fulfill the validation. So if I fulfill it, let's just write a random name, random name, and then random email. Then I will send it, and it gets created. And that gets changed in my database. So here are the users. And then random should be the last one. Okay, I'm going to show what's next that I need to show. So I showed authorization. I need authentication. Database meets proficient criteria and at least one collection features documents with at least 7 fields. That's going to be my habit collection. So every user has an ID, and that ID gets linked into one of the fields of the habit. So I'm going to go into habits. This gets me all the habits. So I'm going to get the proper authorization with the token that gets created. And this is the habits. I only have one, which is connected to user this one. So if I want to create a new habit, it's gonna go like this. I create the authorization, and I already have a habit for this purpose, so we don't take all day, which is connected to the user already. And a habit gets created successfully to pray every day. It has, I'm going to show the database collection of habits. It has 7 fields: ID, name, description, category, frequency, goal, the user ID that is linked to, and at what time, which date was created at. So this is 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you don't include the ID already. So that meets the database, at least 7 fields. At least 2 collections have a put or delete request. Okay, I'm gonna show the delete for the habit. I'm gonna delete this habit. This habit, oh, it was not found because this is a different ID. So I'm gonna delete this habit. If I can copy this, I need to copy the ID to be able to delete the habit. So I delete that habit. It says the habit not found. So that's error handling. If the habit that I requested didn't show up, that's error handling. So, and now it found it and the habit was deleted. I'm going to show the database and then I update. So that's one collection with delete. I'm going to show that same collection with put. I'm going to update this. Let's update the habit, this one. There we go. Now update this habit. And then I believe I need to change the authorization. So I need to get the key for authorization. Got the key, I got the ID, and then it's going to change from write on a journal, write every day, to pray every morning. So I changed the habit and the habit is updated. I refresh this and it's changed now. The goal changed to pray. So that's showing delete and put for this collection. And now I'm going to show put and delete for the users collection. For the users, put and delete here. So I'm going to update the keys for authorization first on both so that I can copy. So this is the authorization, the new authorization, put and delete user. Delete the user. I'm going to copy all of this. It needs authorization to be able to do that. And then, okay, first we're going to change this one. When I show the put, the user, change that user where we have authorization. And we're gonna change it to testing, and the email is gonna be testing. Okay, so I send the request, and the test was successful. It changes this ID to test. Now we're gonna delete it. Same here. We're gonna delete that user. Okay, it is deleted. There is no testing user. Okay, so that's the HTTP request. API documentation meets proficient. So this is where I didn't get all the points because my Swagger is not showing the authorization. So according to my readings and what I was able to find, I should have gotten a area here that says authorize, and that's where I put the key that I showed on my local testing, but it's nowhere to be found. So if I try to get any ID, it's not gonna. If I try to try anything here, it's not gonna allow it. If I try to do this, it's not allowing it. So I wasn't able to get the Swagger API to run my get, post, put, and delete, but it shouldn't be a 0 because the Swagger JSON file is present. I have my Swagger JS file is here, JSON file. Is this JSON or JS? JSON is here. It's here. I have my JSON file. I have my JSON JS file to run the. I tried to use. This is what I found the authorization to be able to require the bearer, the authorization, the bearer authorization. So this should have shown up here, but it's not. I don't know why. I wasn't able to figure out. So it is found. I have the Swagger JSON present. So at least 65 of 10%, which is 6.5% at least. And this is up to you to grade. Data validation, I meet data validation. I have shown that if I don't have the proper name or username, it's not gonna run. I can also show it here in GitHub. It says here that in my controllers, in habits, if it doesn't have name, description, category, frequency, goal, and user ID, it's gonna throw an error. It says missing field required. And the user, if it doesn't have the name and email as an email, and then it's gonna throw an error too. So that's validation. And error handling, also I showed in the video that if the ID is not found, it's gonna throw an error. If it's not authorized, it throws an error. If it's 400 or 500, depending on the error. So it's here on GitHub. The only thing I'm missing is the API documentation because I wasn't able to figure out to do the authorization, but Swagger file is present, so at least 65%. And everything else is good. Thank you for your time.